All right, we rolling live, people. What's up, peoples? It's your boy MM2K back again after a little hiatus with your mans, the one, the only TRS, the Fusion Wolf.
What's up, everybody? What's going on?
What's up, man? What's been going on, man? What's going on in the TRS universe, man?
Nothing much, man. Just working hard, trying to maintain, keeping these games going strong. You know, hearing a lot about the outside world, and when I say the outside world, I'm referring to things that are going on amongst the gods, as far as the podcasts and things like that, and the debates and all that kind of good news. And I'm hearing some interesting stuff, man. Some a little creepy, some a little inspiring.
He's a sub creepy. Yeah,
it's interesting stuff I've been hearing.
Yeah, there's definitely been some creepy stuff going on, and particularly if you're tuning into the podcast. What's up, Doom? If you're looking, you're probably seeing, oh man, what's up with this dude's, what's it called? Let me transition that in OBS for you. There you go. Because the screen was all off, you know what I mean? My man Doom, Philosopher Doom, you know what I'm saying? Faithful ScramPunkanite is in the chat. Big ups to my man. All right, so we're going to do the damn thing. Cyrus Burke, what's up, yo? My man Cyrus Burke. Hey, what the hell is all that? Did you hear that, man? It sound like R2D2 took over, man.
What's going on over there?
I have no idea. It just sound like somebody trapped in someone's closet. All right. Okay, peoples. Anywho, we're back again, man, after a hiatus. Couple weeks, you know what I'm saying? Again, big ups to my man Philosopher Doom, my man Cyrus Burke, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna promote his show. You know what I'm saying? TRS. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. But as you can see in the subject lines, this is gonna be a short show because there's really not a lot going on, but there's a bunch of important stuff going on. You know that we really want to get our thoughts across to the gaming community and let them know how we feel about it. But first and foremost, before we get into that, TRS, can you let the good public know, man, what you've been getting into as far as game is concerned, man?
First and foremost, the most important thing of this entire show that we're going to discuss is the fact that your boy TRS just learned how to navigate around Twitter.
Oh, man.
For the first time ever today. I'm like the last person on earth that learned how to use it. But even though the fact that I'm the one that's using it, that makes it the most important article in this show. But as far as gaming, man, it's the same old, man. I'm just waiting for all the new stuff to come out. I still got to get Cuphead. I still got to check that out, man. I haven't purchased that yet. But other than that, it's your basics. It's the the Destiny and the Elder Scrolls, man. I don't want to annoy people by constantly saying that, but I love it, man. And here's something. I'm glad you mentioned that because I just thought of something. From what I'm hearing, I don't know if this is true. If anybody's listening to this, I don't know if it's true. But, you get a lot of complaints in different groups and different forums and things like that on Facebook, Twitter, things like that about how they're disappointed in the slow progress, if any, of Destiny 2. Mm-hmm. And one of the main things that I heard through the grapevine, because I love grapes, one of the main things that I heard through the grapevine is that legend has it, the reason why they're kind of careless on doing any kind of like hot new updates and things on Destiny 2 is because they're not paying as much attention to it, even though it's probably due for like 2 or 3 more DLCs. Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, they're not really focusing on it because they're too busy trying to prepare for Destiny 3. It's supposed to be coming out, what is it, summer or something like that, 2019?
Yeah.
Which would be absolutely unfair if that's the case, especially for someone who actually loves the game and loves the saga. That would be kind of insulting on one's intelligence. But I don't know if it's true. But this is what I'm hearing. If anybody's got anything to say on that, if they heard anything, just
Well, I have something to say on that, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to hold that because what you're supposed to do as a professional is when you co-host the show with somebody, you're supposed to share topics with them. But I'm not a professional, so what I didn't tell you, TRS, is that I wanted you to elaborate on some Destiny 2 stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely gonna crack the grape open because you like them. We're gonna crack the grapes open on that.
They get cracked.
They get cracked. I want. What's up to my man Xbox Juice Triple B brother in the house? You know what I'm saying? Already up Cybersburg. Everybody. That's what's up. Philosopher Doom. Hey, you know the big ticket, man. Everybody want to talk about this Anthem. We gonna get there, man. We gonna get there. Philosopher Doom says, at this point, I feel like they should just reboot Destiny. Those are his thoughts. I'm going to hold that thought because we got a lot to talk about.
That's a thought, man. That's a thought.
And TRS is definitely our Destiny resident, man. He's the Destiny wood buffer. No, he's the Destiny resident person. He loves Destiny, you know what I'm saying, and he's definitely the expert of it. So we going tap his brains. All right.
I'm going to prove to you just how phenomenal I am while you have me on air. When you let me know that we had about 10 minutes left. Okay, yeah. We had about 10 minutes left before the show started. And during that time, I was 0% on my Crucible percentage. And people who play Destiny know what I'm talking about. My Crucible percentage for PvP, for you know, the milestone. For the milestone. Get 100%. Play Crucible and get 100% on the milestone. From the time you told me that we had 10 minutes left to the time that we started the show, I got my 100%. I'm a very happy man. This is how serious it gets with the Fusion Wolf.
Damn, man.
I need a life.
That's crazy. Who cares? No, I'm just. I got a feeling with two spots right now because Killer Hill. You know what I'm saying? He's in my A again, man. We ain't got, man. I'm not gonna start with him. I'm not gonna mess with the restless leg syndrome. I'm not even gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? But Killer Hill's missing. You know. So if you find Killer Hill, you know, look on the back of your milk cartons. Let him know that we doing the show right now. You know what I'm saying? But that's all right. That's all right. Yo, what's up to my man?
We got a no show on Charlie Babbitt too. I was trying to get in there.
Hey, yo. I was just thinking about you earlier today, TRS. I want y'all to know that we try to have entertainment here. You know what I'm saying? Besides me, TRS, and Killer Hill. I signed a serious and up-and-coming R&B act, okay? The dude's name is Bobby Smash, and he's part of this choir called the Sweatin' River Choir, okay? And he's going to do an intro for us. So me and TRS has been talking about this intro since 2017. So Bobby Smash and the Sweatin' River Choir are coming in here, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't even try looking them up. I discovered them. I'm their manager, okay? Don't even try looking them up. They're going to be here next week because I've already started working on it. They're going to be here next week and they're going to do a special intro for us, all right? Big up to my man Tip Diamond. Check it out, the show. All right, man. So let's get. Don't even know what they walking into next week, man.
They're not ready. They're not ready for Bobby Smash.
Bobby Smash and the Sweatin' River Choir, man. Straight up. Get your Bibles. All right, man. So look, let's get into this. You know what I'm saying? Cause y'all here to hear that gaming, man. First and foremost, well, you know what? Before we do that, let me play with y'all a little bit. Ooh, that don't sound right. Let me mess with y'all minds a little bit. My gaming week was I got into that Division, man.
Oh, word.
Yeah, that new 1.8. Well, let me. I want to talk about that too, and then compare. And I want shadow box with the Division versus Destiny. You know what I'm saying?
I'm getting ready to go into Division too.
Hey, now's the time.
I'm starting from the beginning, though. You know,
that's the thing. I'm gonna tell everybody: if you haven't played the Division, this is your best time to start it, because what I've done is I've gone like in and out. I was dealing with it faithfully until I want to say when I first hit the scene, y'all, and I was doing my little PlayStation thing when I was playing Uncharted and stuff. That's when I fell off the Division a little bit. And every time they had a new release, it was harder for me to get reacclimated to the game. One thing I will tell you about the Division is that once you get deep into it and get to the end game, if you leave it for a while, it is real hard for you to get reacclimated because they're always changing stuff. They're always changing the power, the weapons that's in your inventory and doing all this other stuff. So you don't know. I mean, you know what's good and what ain't good, but then you got to go through your whole inventory. And that's the biggest drawback from the Division is its inventory. If you played it from the release date, it's more important now more than ever for you to really keep that inventory low as possible. You know what I'm saying? I know there's a lot of appetizing and tasty looking guns and armor and stuff like that. But, you know, you got to keep everything to a minimum because you will get overloaded with stuff that you don't even need. And you'll lose your purpose. You'll lose your way real quick.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but we'll get into that a little bit. But that's been my gaming week. I done got into some Wolfenstein, man. Yo.
Yeah, tell me about that,
man. Game of the year, man. It's game of the year material. Man, look, anything Bethesda puts their hands on or get a stamp on is potential game of the year. Now, I get it. We had games like Rage. And then we had this other one that came out in the 360 days. I forgot. It was Bethesda's first game that they created it was the first game that they published under their publishing stint. You got to remember, last generation, Bethesda was doing so well with the Fallouts and all that other stuff that they created a publishing stint. They just went from developing to publishing. And the first game they came out with was called Hell Something. It was horrible. It was horrible. It's very rare, though, because, you know, Bethesda has an eye for talented developers. You know, you look at Doom and everything else, Evil Within and all the stuff they put their hands on. So I put a lot of stock in Bethesda, and definitely this Wolfenstein, man, it's my game. You know, I haven't touched Assassin's Creed yet, but I'm pretty confident that even if I do touch Assassin's Creed, that What's It Called is going to be my game of 2017, straight up. It's
once
good.
You get past the Twitch here.
You see, yo, and it's hard too, and I love that. I love that because we get one thing that we're not going to be able to do at this show, TRS. But next show, I really want us to go deep into what RPGs are. I got into this big argument on Twitter about RPGs, and nothing against anybody that may be young in the audience, but me and TRS, we've been gaming since 80, 81, 82, 83, 84. You know what I'm saying? We're going to tell you what some RPGs are. Everybody get things twisted, and they think just because you can upgrade a character, you know what I'm saying, or put a hat on them, it's an RPG. No. Because Castlevania, you know what I mean, back in our day, you could upgrade Simon or whatever the hell his name was. Castlevania,
Simon, yeah.
It wasn't, Castlevania's not an RPG. It's a long-ass game, but it ain't no RPG, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to go over all that. Well, we'll go over all that back in the day. You know what I'm saying? My man Philosopher Dude said, got to get back into Assassin's Creed. Been on PUBG. Everybody been on that PUBG, man.
PUBG is cocaine.
Yeah, PUBG is life, man.
So much.
Yeah, PUBG is a very good game, and even in its game state, even in its state right now, which they made a lot of improvements to since episode 2 that we had Wags on. You know what I'm saying? Since episode 2, it's really upped in its quality. You know what I mean? So that's what's up. That's what's up. All right. So let's get it moving. First things first, obey your thirst. Sprite. No. The first thing. No, that wasn't from my new act, Bobby Smashing Them. Xbox Game Pass, man. Oh, my man. Oh, hold on. See, Doom is trying to do it. Doom is trying to do it in the chat, man. He said Mystic Quest was my shit. Yo, he went way back. Didn't he go back, yo? He went back. Philosopher Doom. That's my man, yo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's up in our air. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tip said, I haven't opened Shadow of War. That is true, dude. I haven't done Shadow of War. So to be fair, I could, Wolfenstein 2, Assassin's Creed, lots of games I haven't opened. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm just a Bethesda fanboy, so I'll give a lot of credit to Bethesda. I appreciate that. But back to what I was babbling about was Xbox Game Pass. Now, TRS, I know you be working, man, trying to keep the lights on, so you may not be aware of this, but Xbox has they have like a gaming service where they have like 160 games in a library.
360, right?
No, they're 360. They're a culmination of 360. A couple of original Xbox games, but I believe a majority of them are Xbox One games. You know what I'm saying? And And you can have unlimited access to whatever games are in that library for that month for $10 a month, which is not a bad deal at all. It's kind of like a GameFly type thing, similar to it with some caveats. However, someone like myself that's old school, when I looked at the inventory, I know that I really wasn't interested because it was stuff that I've already beat and I really didn't want to play again, or stuff that I already have, right? So even though the I have like a free month subscription or whatever, I just never got into it. I'm just saving it, okay? With that being said, Xbox made a major announcement yesterday, bro. And they said that starting with Sea of Thieves that releases this March, that every single Xbox published exclusive will be made available on Game Pass. So, like when Sea of Thieves, when Crackdown, when State of Decay release, they're going to automatically be made on that Game Pass service. And right now that Game Pass service is $10. Now, hold on to that thought. Once that was released, the internet and the universe just collided. Everybody went crazy. The vast majority of gamers said this was a great quality service with that announcement to the gaming public. You have a few actual Xbox gamers that thought it was bad, but the majority of people that complained about it were PlayStation fanboys that, or typically they're jealous. Because if Sony did the same thing, they'd be jumping all over it, quite honestly.
I thought that they would have already.
Yeah, well, they tried to. It's just the way they went to implement it didn't work too well. So what Sony is doing, because they have a game service, but it's $20 and it's all streaming. Because Sony went and bought this streaming service that used to compete with OnLive, Geico or something like that. They used to compete with OnLive, and they bought them, and they invested all their money in the streaming portion of it. But streaming is unreliable. What Microsoft is doing is they're actually allowing you to download these games that are in the service, and if they're in the service and you're paying for the service, you just get a temporary license for that game until they boot it out of the catalog. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that to me is a phenomenal value, especially a new game. As soon as it hits retail, it's also going to hit Game Pass. And right now, Game Pass is $10.
All right. So help me please understand this, because whenever I'm dealing with video games online, I'm kind of skeptical when it comes, because the games that I have that I've bought that are in my system, and have lag. And have all kinds of things, like all those goodies like that. So now I'm kind of wondering, what's the percentage of that kind of thing when you're with that subscription? Do they put the games on your hard drive and then they block it if you don't pay monthly or something?
Yeah. I mean, they're downloaded on your system.
So it is on the system. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like GameFly. All right, and I don't know how familiar you are with GameFly. Yeah, GameFly, allows you to have access to rent the games. Whatever games you pick, like depending upon your subscription service, you may get access to 1, 2, 3, or 4 games, right?
Okay.
And you have access to that game as long as you're paying the service. And once you stop paying the service, you got to return the game. So it's kind of the same theory here, where you download it. You're not streaming it. You're downloading it onto your console. So it's a digital copy. And as long as you're active on the service and you're just renting it,
block it or take it off.
They won't block it. But once you stop paying the service, the game is still there, but the license then becomes null and void. So if you try to start up the game, it'll tell. I don't know if you've ever done that, where you've installed like a physical disc and then you try to play the game without the physical disc being in there. It'll tell you, you either got to purchase this game or put the disc in. That's the same message I imagine you're going to get with this. Okay, something happened. I think somebody may have followed us. My bad. I can't see it. My bad. But however, Philosopher Doom also says the amount of time each game is available on the Game Pass is going to play a huge part. They'll get you hooked, then pull it and entice you for full purchase. Oh, definitely. definitely.
Yeah, well, that's what I figured.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
like GameFly.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. Like that's what happens with GameFly. Like I had the 2 game at a time tier, so and usually one of my games I had was like a sports game. You know, I know you're not big on sports games, TRS, but I would have like NBA 2K in there, and then if like a Bethesda game was coming out, I'm like, oh, I got to open up my queue, but I was still hooked on the 2K game. So I would buy the 2K game, you know what I'm saying, to open up my queue. Not necessarily the same thing here, but yeah, like Doom said, they're trying to entice you to buy it because eventually they're going to yank it. However, Doom, I've been looking on the Twitterverse, and I'm glad Tico's part of it, TRS is part of it, that looking at the Twitterverse, I think Aaron Greensberg and then Larry Erb said that they are looking to put these Microsoft exclusive titles on their long term, which means they would never yank them as long as you're paying the service. But if that is the case, I can guarantee I can guarantee you guys. David Crosby in here. What's up, DC? What's going on? I can guarantee you guys that the service is going to go up. It's going to go up to like $20 or something like that. And I just want to say, not to toot my own horn, okay? Your boy dropped a video series on this already where I done told y'all that Microsoft was going this way with digital distribution. And in order for them to do this, to keep the service honest and still keep the console gamers in mind, that they had to add their exclusive games day one, and they had to keep adding them like boom, 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 boom. What does Microsoft do thereafter? They announced that they made large investments in first-party titles, and that they're going to start adding them to the GamePass service, like I said. And what they have to do to still add value to the console gamer is they got to make sure that at least for the console gamer, the service is a little bit cheaper or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because this is going to go to different platforms. This is going to be on PC. You know what I'm saying? All the other stuff. Believe you me. You know what I mean? But at the state that it is right now, within an up and coming few months, with Crackdown coming on there and Sea of Thieves and then State of Decay, this is a phenomenal value. And I say hop on it, man. Because and one last thing before I turn over to UTRS is the reason why they're doing this, all right? And big ups to Jazz from Windows Central. The reason why, because this information came courtesy of him. The reason why they're doing this is because, on average, the average casual buys about 2 games a year, okay? So that equates to around $120 at the most. It doesn't mean that them 2 games that they buy are new. They could buy 2 used games a year. You know what I'm saying? What Microsoft is trying to do is entice those casuals to, instead of going to Best Buy or Amazon and buying the game used or something like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of going there, that they put all of their money into this digital distribution service. You know what I'm saying? And entice them with 100+ games. That's what they're looking to do because they've seen the success of a Netflix or whatever and how these digital distribution services can be very lucrative. So being that I said all that and I babbled on and I need to drink some goddamn water, what are your thoughts on that, TRS?
Excuse me. I know exactly what it's going to be for me. And me personally, I'm going to do it. I'm going in. I know what it's going to be for me. It's going to be the exact same thing that I did with GameFly. Yep. I'm playing a GameFly game. I just happen to get that one that takes my soul. Mm-hmm. I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. It's time to take it back. And when it's time to take it back, I'm just like, I've got to have it. Yeah. So I end up buying it just because I played it on that site. So basically, I'll use that for like a testing ground for different games. Mm-hmm. You know, and there was something else like that we did that with. I can't remember what it was. Where you could use, you could play the games for a certain price, and then maybe it was GameFly. Maybe that's all.
Yeah, GameFly. Yeah,
but yeah. After a while, it's like you're tired of paying constantly for the same game, and you're just basically, I need to invest.
Yep.
And so I stopped playing it, and then I purchased the game, and with the site or with the app rather. I'll just check something out new.
Yep, definitely.
but I'll actually have the game that I wanted, the solid game at home, on disk or on my hard drive. So I guess there's going to be a function maybe where you have the option of purchasing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Since it's going on your hard drive anyway, there's going to be an option to purchase
to buy it out.
Thing.
Yep. You can buy it out for they said around a 15 to 20% discount, kind of like GameFly. You know what I'm saying?
Right. See, that's what I can see me using it for. Yep. Game testing.
Exactly. You test your games out before you make the full purchase. Here's the thing. People are worried that Microsoft is going to go full-blown digital distribution with this thing and become service only. That may or may not happen, but that cannot happen in the near future, and here's why. People like TRS. People like TRS predominate. I mean, TRS is not a casual, but the way he plays games predominates the consumer market, meaning he's not going out and buying a goddamn computer and putting all the parts together and shit. He's not doing that. TRS is not going out there and buying a tablet so he can play his games on his tablet. TRS wants to come home, fire up his console, and play his games on his console. You know what I'm saying? And even though TRS right now prefers his Xbox, TRS primarily plays multiplats, like your boy, MM2K. Now, let's just say if Microsoft said in 2 or 3 years, we're going to go to full digital distribution, and they force TRS to play on a PC or something like that besides a console. Guess what TRS is doing? He's going to PlayStation. He's not, and Microsoft isn't that stupid to do that. So, you know what I'm saying? So, everybody that's like jumping fences and thinking that this is going to wipe away the whole console demographic, you're doing too many white lines. Okay, stop the snorting. It's not happening. Me, myself, it may not bother me that much because I have a beefy PC. You know what I'm saying? But TRS wants to fire up his console and kick it on his console. And most Microsoft gamers are like that. And they are not going to diminish that market and say, we're forcing you now to learn how to put a PC together. That's not happening. There's going to be Microsoft hardware. This is what Microsoft is trying to do, is they're trying to open up the avenue of how their games can be purchased. Phil Spencer said it himself that the name of the game is to sell more software without having to sell more consoles. That doesn't mean sell more software and no consoles. It means that he wants to be able to expand on the software distribution without having to sell 150 million consoles. Because out of those 150 million, 100 of them, or maybe 80 million of them, you're losing money on. You don't start coming out even or in the black with a console sale until like the last few years of the generation, because you're taking a hit on the console because what it takes to make it. You know what I'm saying? But you make that up in your software sales. So because these are Fortune 500 companies, which TRS, a lot of people don't understand, they always have to show new ways of revenue growth.
Right.
Sony started this last generation when they made the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 3 was supposed to last 2 generations with the cell processor. It's just that blew up in Sony's face because it was too difficult to develop for the cell processor. Because what PlayStation said is, hey, look, we kicked the chicken shit out of Microsoft and the GameCube, the previous generation with the PlayStation 2, and our graphics were horrible. So this generation with the PlayStation 3, generation 1 with the PlayStation 3, the graphics will be comparable. Next generation, they won't be, but nobody cares because of our brand. And then, again, it backfired on them. So, gaming companies that are Fortune 500 that are publicly traded, they have to find new ways of revenue stream or they become stagnant, their stock price drops, and they're out of business. So, believe you me, this is nothing new. This is not a new direction that no one's thought of, and Microsoft just pioneered this. No, they just sped up the process a little bit. But console gaming is not going anywhere right now. What we do want to fight for and make sure is that they still add value to the console by giving us at least a discount, right? For buying the Microsoft hardware. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the subscription is $20 generally, if I buy a Microsoft console, it should be $15. You know what I'm saying? I should get some type of kickback to add value to your console, because you need those console gamers, because right now we make up the majority of the Xbox gamer. You know what I'm saying? So, and Xbox has a long way to go before this streaming service, even if it becomes available on Windows, they have a long way to go before they can even start putting this thing on PCs, because they got to compete with Steam, Origin, and Microsoft's lineup ain't beefy like that. So again, for those of you that are concerned that it's the end of the console era by the time you wake up tomorrow, just put away the Coke until the summertime, okay? Just relax and understand how this is going about and how this really works, okay?
You're thinking the ultimate goal might be streaming?
Say that again, TRS?
You're thinking that the ultimate goal, end-all goal, would be streaming?
Well, not necessarily streaming, but purely digital. Look, these gaming companies want to go purely digital. The only reason why they didn't do it this generation is because Sony realized, after getting their teeth kicked in last generation, they realized, they were like, okay, we are not ready for this multiverse of, you know, making your toaster work and controlling your refrigerator. And I don't know if you guys remember that shit, but that's what they were saying what the PlayStation 3 was going to be able to do. Open your garage and shit and brush your cats and all that other stuff. And they realized, we're not ready for this. Unwittingly, Microsoft said, oh, we can do what Sony was trying to do, and it backfired on them. What Sony did is they wisely looked at the narrative that was closing out last generation and saw what was going to be the narrative this generation. If you remember, TRS, at the end of last generation, while Microsoft, I think, got ahead of themselves and they was focusing on connect, and when you open up your Game Informer, looked at IGN, even NeoGAF and all those other places, NG4, whatever, they were all talking about what? Unreal Engine 4 and
Unreal Engine, yeah.
Polygons and sprites and compute units. Sony said, if you guys don't remember, I still got all my Game Informers for like the last 7-8 years. What they said is, hold on. We see where this is going. All right, Unreal Engine 4 is making games look pretty, but look at Uncharted 4 that's going to be coming out next generation. And look at our engine. So while they kept dropping the Unreal Engine 4 looking games and stuff, Epic was, Sony on top of that was dropping graphics of their games. You know what I'm saying? Particularly Uncharted 4. Meanwhile, Microsoft was in the cut playing with Kinect and jumping on clouds and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So Microsoft didn't have a good feel for what was going to be the narrative. Sony did. So that's why when Sony developed the PlayStation 4, it was all about gaming. You know what I'm saying? Where Microsoft was looking at the Wii and said, oh, we can integrate this casual thing, make it work a little bit better, and make our box more geared towards the family. Where Sony said, oh, no. Everybody at the end of this generation is focused on polygons and compute units. That's what we're going to focus on with the PlayStation 4, hence why we're at right now. So, to make a long story short, I know I didn't answer your goddamn question here, but to answer your question, at some point in time, all of these game console makers, they're going to be looking towards big-time digital distribution services. Look at GameFly. They put a lot of money into their own streaming service. You know what I'm saying? They now have a streaming service where you can stream it to your PC. And then it was to a lot of Samsung TVs it was available for. You know what I'm saying? So right. Everybody is going to a digital distribution service because they're trying to put a stranglehold and choke out GameStop. They are tired of people trading in a used game, GameStop only reducing the price by 35 cents, and all that money going to GameStop. They want all that money to recirculate back into the gaming community, and this is their answer. We just got to make sure that they keep the console gamers, you know what I'm saying, at the forefront.
Right.
So, you know. But before we move on from that big cyber babble, did you have any other thoughts on that, TRS?
I'm completely against the streaming, man.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm old school, man. I'm completely against it. I deal with enough between my computers and my gaming system to where I don't want to be completely dependent on the streaming, man. Online interface. You know, I don't even know what the words to say for this. I'm not ready for it yet. So maybe it's a good thing it's not completely developed yet. Because maybe my grandkids will enjoy that, but I'm not ready for that. And there's too much lag and static and problems every now and then already. And I can only imagine the prototypes of these things and what they're going to be going through. So for all those people out there that are like 30, 40, 50 years younger than me, I'm glad you have to go through it, and I don't.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to say, when you say streaming, Microsoft's product isn't the streaming service. It is digital distribution, which is different, meaning you can actually download the game. So It's not like on live. Remember on live?
Right, I know that. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's actually downloaded. And PlayStation is stuck because they bought that GoW, whatever the hell it is, the tofu, whatever the hell, and it's and it's all streaming. You know what I'm saying? And
that's what I'm afraid that the ultimate.
No, they're not gonna do streaming. They're gonna go to digital distribution where you can download the actual title on your hardware, but what makes it active is the licensing. If there's not an active license on it, then it's just going to be taking up space on your hard drive. But if you got an active license because you're either renting it through a distribution service or you bought it, then you'll be able to play it. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, so, I get it. Okay.
Yeah. Huh. All right. So being that we got a little bit of time left, let me just ask, TRS, are you a big God of War fan?
You know what, man? That's a tricky question, man. The answer, the old school God of War, yes.
Okay.
Currently, no.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to skip that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's certain reasons that I care not to say.
Yeah.
But there was a time when I was.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Definitely.
When they knew who he was.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now it's some other stuff. So I'm like, nah.
Yeah. I'm not. Look, again. And we're me and TRS are coming up with a coin phrase for this. We're gameplay advocates or gameplay savages, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying?
Gameplay raiders.
Yeah. The gameplay raiders. The GPRs. Yeah, we're GPRs.
GPRs.
Yeah. But because meaning we go all the way back in the day. And I'm gonna answer your question real quick, dude. But we go way back in the day where James Cameron wasn't sitting there writing up scores for the original Metal Gear. You know what I'm saying? It was like you were focused on the gameplay. Like, and I said this in one of my videos of Sagio Jimbo, River City Ransom. Oh, wow, yeah. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't voice acting for those games. You know what I'm saying? It was strictly about the gameplay. So, from what I've seen of God of War, I've seen a lot of nice cinematic clips, but the only gameplay that I've seen is that little bit of gameplay where he's in a cave and he threw an axe at a couple of monsters and all other stuff. I've seen nothing but clips anywhere, cinematic clips, and again, that's not what moves us. You know what I'm saying?
Are you referring to God of War period or like some of the new stuff?
No, the new God of War that's coming out. It's coming out April 20th. I really don't want, and this is not to hate on Sony. I know we're Xbox dudes. But I don't put my stock in any of the first-party games. I think Game Pass is a value. You know, that's why I'm going to hop on it for $10 a month. Shit. But when my most anticipated games are not God of War or not even Halo. They're Bethesda games. You know what I'm saying? They're Shadow War. They're a whole bunch of other stuff. They're the third-party games. They're not the first-party games. The first-party games are for... I don't know, the people, whoever likes them. That's fine. I'm not even going to say nothing negative about them. Now, my man Philosopher Doom says, what do you think Sony's answer to this back combat situation will be? And Philosopher Doom said he felt mad about the trailer. Yeah, I didn't really care for it because I saw cinematics, and I don't. That's not what does me about a game. But what I think their answer is, I think Sony is fully invested in that Gaikai, man. And look, Sony can't afford to do what they're doing. Yo, Neethles. My man Neethles, Triple B brethren, you know what I'm saying? On there. We try and hurry up and wrap up before y'all do Expand Your Mind podcast, my brother. Look, let me say this real quick, because I know I'm jumping off topic. Cyrus Burke, you still in the chat? I don't know if Cyrus Burke is still in the chat. But my man Neethles, Cyrus Burke, and Bloody Knuckles. I love that name. They have a show every Saturday called the Smash Podcast. If you're a geek like me and TRS, that's in the comics, in the anime, in the movies, check out that podcast, man. We had a fantastic time. My man Neethles at the last minute said, look, we're going to go in on that Star Wars, man. Come on in. And I joined the paddle, and I had an excellent time. I would have stayed on that mug with him the whole time, but...
With the movie?
No. They got a podcast.
No, I'm talking about you said they were going into that Star Wars.
Oh yeah, they were talking about the Star Wars movie, the last toilet water. How it was. Me and Neethles was like, yo, that last Star Wars was toilet chunks, and
like the last unicorn or something like that.
Yeah, it was. What was it? The last unicorn. That's what the hell it felt like. The last unicornish. Felt like a made for TV movie, man. And the way, I'm not even gonna spoil it, but the way, that's why I wish Killer Hill was here. The way that they did Luke Skywalker, man. Is abysmal. I was wondering about that. Star Wars has taken the biggest icons in action history and have completely shat it in their mouth. They took a shot in their mouth. Okay. First, we saw it with Donnie Yen and the Rogue One Star Wars spinoff. The way they did Donnie Yen's character was a disgrace. Okay,
Donnie Yen. Consider the Donnie Yen part the second disgrace? Would the first one be, from what I hear,
Triple X?
About
Triple X. Triple X.
Han Solo.
Oh, yeah. How they? I mean, no. What? Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for nobody.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, kind of, sorta. But no, I mean, it sucked, but it did add a climactic, thing to it. I didn't mind the last I didn't mind episode 7. Episode 8 was just trash. Episode 8 was like if we went to a bunch of 12-year-olds and said, how do you imagine Star Wars? And they just start pulling out crayons and markers and shit. And they came up with a script and we put it on film. That's what this Star Wars was like. It was horrible. It was horrible. But with that being said, excellent podcast, Smash Podcast. Check it out on Saturdays. Neethles, if you could drop the time on that you guys do the podcast in the chat, I'd appreciate it. I had a lot of fun, man. Yeah, I loved it. I had to. The wife went berserk on me, so I had to leave. But
Donnie Yen.
Yeah, Donnie Yen. Yeah, my wife is a big Donnie Yen. She came up in there and she was about to do some what do you call that? Some SPL on me, man. She's about to do some chapeau lang on me, man, if I didn't get off the mic. So I had to get off the mic. All right. So before we go, you know what I'm saying? I want to talk about Anthem. I think Anthem is on a lot of people's list as one of the most anticipated games this generation. Anthem looks like God. Okay. I am anticipating it because I was a former Destinite until 2 came out. And then I love The Division. But even though I had love for those games, there seems like that from that genre, that massive multiplayer, whatever you want to call it, console version of that, they could still do, there's still more to be done. You know what I'm saying? And it looks like Anthem was going to be it. And I didn't even realize this myself, TRS. I'm going to let you elaborate. The game was supposed to come out this year. I didn't think that it was ready for 2018. I thought it wasn't coming out till 2019 anyway. But it looks like it's supposed to come out this year, and they pushed it back. And looking at articles from that came out, EA stock tumbled 2.6%. Wow! Because they announced that the game wasn't coming out till next year. So a lot of people salty. EA's been having some rocky times due to Star Wars 2 and the whole Loot Crate thing. They looked like they was making gains again, and since this news of Anthem has hit the airwaves, they have lost their stock. They lost some leverage on their stock. What are your thoughts on that, TRS?
Before I start, I just want to let you know that the last thing you said was before we end this, and then I was automatically kicked out. So I came back in during the time that you were talking about EA. So I was assuming you were talking about Anthem. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Anthem. Yep.
Yeah, I actually got kicked out of the system there for a second and just jumped back in about 10 seconds ago. You're talking about Anthem.
Yeah.
Two things that I wanted to talk about, and to those people who created Anthem, I know why you're going through this. You're trying to play it off like it's some kind of financial issue, but I know what it is. You were listening to us in our group, our Destiny group, and on Facebook. You were listening, and we said all our different ideas and stuff, and you're using it to revamp Anthem. I know.
They're listening. They're drinking your tears. They're drinking your tears.
They want the Guardians. So I'm not exactly sure what the issue is with Anthem. I was under the assumption that it was coming out maybe Christmas of this year.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, 2018.
Oh,
this is 2018.
Yeah, this is.
So yeah, Christmas. I'm old.
Put down the yak.
This year.
Put down the yak.
Yeah, put down the yayo. But yeah, I wasn't sure exactly what the issue was with that. I saw the article, and I didn't really go into it that deep to know exactly what was going on. But maybe this will be a revamp. I think they're listening to us. Let's not play around.
They got the feds.
They're listening. They're on Facebook looking at my group that I'm in. You know, I'm in 3 different groups.
Oh yeah, promote your group, man. Promote your group on Destiny 2. What's your group?
Actually, yeah. So right now we have our group. We're trying to establish a massive clan right now. It's called the Grotto, GROTTO.
Yeah.
You can catch the actual group on Facebook, and we're also, of course, on Bungie.net. But we're trying to be an elite-free group. A lot of humor, a lot of action, and a lot of butt kicking. But in a fun kind of way, not the elite. We're really trying to stay away from those guys. We had to boot a few people from that because they were trying to be the chairman. There's only one chairman,
and that's the motherfucker that made the group, which is you.
Exactly. Actually, it's Poop Deck.
Poop Deck's group. Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, Poop Deck.
So me and him were just sitting back and laughing because people are trying to tell you what to do, and I did the whole raid by myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, why can't you guys? Yeah, you did the whole raid by yourself. Yeah.
So okay,
and I'm the original.
Exactly. Wherever there's poop deck, there's TRS. So there ain't. So if it's not Poop Deck or TRS, you ain't in control of shit.
Exactly. So it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, just stop it. Just stop it. Go get some cold cuts. Stop it. All right.
Make it beefy.
So, are you upset that what's it called is being pushed back? Anthem?
No, because I don't want to. I want Anthem to come out and be the best that it can be.
Exactly. When I first saw
the clips on E1, I saw the potential. I also saw like some of the flaws that might come. So when they said they're kicking it, they're pushing it back. I'm like, okay. So they're preparing it. It might have just been ready for play on the Xbox One. They may have to push it back for more things so that it can do both Xbox One, Xbox One X. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they got more funding. Maybe they can do more. Maybe they got a piece of Hideo Kojima's Kickstarter. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't want no babies in the throats, man. I don't want no babies in the throat. I don't want that. I don't want that shit, man. Straight pause.
I'm kind of happy that they're holding back on it.
Yeah. Look, man.
With, Destiny.
Look,
and they can do upgrades that they weren't going to do before.
Exactly. Look, the final thought, and then we're gonna close out. Take whatever time you need to develop this game. I don't want another Mass Effect situation. Yeah, I don't want another Mighty Number 9, another Mass Effect situation. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's early 2020, I know that's going to be like, what? But there's going to be, trust me, there's going to be plenty of games that come out from third-party developers in there. I want this thing to be right. You know what I'm saying? Like Destiny, even though Destiny 1 captured my soul, you know what I'm saying? I want, and Division captured my soul at the beginning, and then it fell a little flat, and I was picking back up. I want this whole genre to be done right. You know what I'm saying? So take your time. Early 2020 if you got to, but 2019, cool. And my man,
I think that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna gear it towards trying to take everyone out the box. That's what I think. That's
what they need to do. Please, just take your time, man. We're going to have plenty of games. Look, man, we got backlogs. People got like over 500 games. People got backlogs. There's over 1,300 games to play, including the backwards compatibility games and all this other stuff. We got plenty of games to play. And Anthem is not going to be the be-all, tell-all for the rest of our life. You know what I'm saying? We want it to be as good as it's going to be, but there's going to be plenty of games out there, okay? So
relax.
Exactly.
Relax.
Stop doing the white lines. Okay. With that being said, we're going to close out early because we got a special announcement to make next week. And there's a reason why we're keeping this one short because we got some big things coming. I was talking to TRS and Killer Hill about that last week. Some special things we're going to do along with Bobby Smash and the Sweaty River Band coming in. We got some special things coming. But with that being said, we're going to close out. I'm going to give the last words to TRS. TRS, anything you got to say to our faithful people before we roll out?
Stay away from compute units.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why we were at this gen, because of compute units. All y'all turning y'all gaming for Gaming Forum was dropping this every month, and y'all was eating it up like crab cakes. Like, yo, compute units. That's all y'all thought about. But I want to, thank you. I want to say big up to everybody that was in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Cyrus Berg, my man Philosopher Doom, Xbox Juice. You know what I'm saying? Hypebot. No, there ain't no damn Hypebot. Tip Diamond.
One more thing, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is the new name of Zap?
He's supposed to be YZ2K. All right. Or no, YS2K. Like for Wise2K. But then he changed it to YM or something, or Yum Yums. I don't know what the hell he is. Okay. I got a new message. Let me see here. I was going, and big up to Dave Crosby, Cyrus Burke, everybody else here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to TRS. Good show, fellas. Thank you very much, Philosopher Doom. We appreciate that, man. Yes, I don't know what's going on with Zoinky, okay?
Did you say Yum Yums?
Yeah, Yum Yums. I think he changed his name to Yum Yums 2K, so he's banned. I'm ripping up his birth certificate and all that shit. But no, for those that don't know, Zoinky, Wise2K, that's my son. He's a little super genius, and he's spitting on the name right now because he keep coming up with these weirdo ass titles and shit for his name. But thank you everybody in the chat. Thank you for coming along. Again, check out the Smash Podcast, 2:30 Eastern on Saturdays. TRS, you know why you doing your thing. Listen to them cats, man. You'll love it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm checking that out.
Definitely. Philosopher Doom also want to let you know, TRS, Destiny players are like the last of the Mohicans. Big up to Doom. Big up to everybody, man. We appreciate it. We got some big announcements next week. Hopefully we can find Killer Hill, warm up his legs, get rid of his restless leg syndrome. Peace out to everybody. Y'all have a wonderful gaming day.